Situation I'm personally dealing with, and I had at least 3 or 4 conversations with Shad. Message is loud and clear, and I agree with. Also met with the team on Monday individually, and then today had a very pointed conversation with them, owning a stupid mistake that I made. And that a job of a coach is to, number one, health and safety of a player. Number 2 is motivate them and bring out the greatness in them. And number 3 is give them everything possible to be successful and have a great locker room. And then get the heck out of the way. And I apologize for distraction with a huge week coming up, especially after they made so much improvement from week 1 to week 4. So that was the conversation.
Why meet individually with the players on Monday instead of one giant team meeting? You wait till today for that.
I wanted to get in their space and have a good relationship with this whole team. And I'm not a big team meeting guy. I'm more of I do a lot of it that way, where I'll go to the running backs where there's a group of 4, and team meetings are very it's just a big environment. In my opinion, you don't get much done in a team meeting. You get a lot done when you're in personal space with people. I've always done that.
Urban, have you heard from the league office?
No.
You haven't talked to Goodell? And then were you fined, as part of the reprimand, were you fined
No.
by shotgun?
No.
Coach, did you ask permission or was granted approval to not fly back with the team?
I'm sorry?
Or did you ask, like shot, was it okay for you not to fly back with the team?
Yeah, well, I discussed it with Trent way in advance.
What do you think the players' reaction to you not going back in? I mean, you stood at that podium in Cincinnati and you said you had a hard-working team. Do you think that taking back on that consideration, that might not have been a good thing to do, to not fly back?
I thought at the time, now that I maybe thought it through, but I thought at the time this is a chance for everybody to clear their head, including myself, with my family located, where we were, to go spend a day or 2 with them and then get back, because I knew I wanted them to get out of Dodge too and clear their heads.
Urban, could you expound on something you said on your radio show last night about the players having ownership of the team? Can you describe more what that means to you and how that impacts this week in particular?
Well, players always own the team. In college, I consider that the same way. There's nothing more important in a locker room. And when the context of that is it's my responsibility to earn their trust back as their leader, as a guy that I'm very close with, a bunch of them. And it's always been that way with our teams and organizations. This is a players' team. It's a players' organization. Our job is to direct them, but they're the decision makers in an organization. I've all felt that way.
So how does that impact this week in particular when you have a crisis situation, distraction, whatever you want to call it? What do you expect from the team then in this week?
Well, I asked them. I mean, that's the part of the getting personal, and, I'd say of our leadership committee, I had at least, 8 to 10 phone calls even where they called me, and they were over the top supportive and said, we got you, man. We move forward. The common thing was, Coach, we all did stupid things. And I'm really impressed with our guys.
At any point over this whole last few days, did you ever feel distraught enough to consider resigning at all?
No.
Do you feel like the distraction will or could take away at all from any of the preparation for yourself or for the team going into Sunday?
Well, I'm in a fight to make sure that doesn't happen. As of now, no, I don't see that one bit.
How much will a win this week sort of help the morale of the team?
A win will, I'm dealing with this personally, but the win as far as the organization and the team will do wonders.
What's your relationship like with Coach Vrabel, and what kind of coach is he?
Oh, it's a great relationship. Great. Hired him back in, 2012. Actually first met Mike when he was with the Patriots, and I was invited up there a couple of years in a row to watch him at minicamp. He's from the same area. He's from Northeast Ohio. And Luke Fickell, when I hired Coach Fickell as our D coordinator, he had recommended Mike. Mike had only been coaching 1 year. never coached the D-line, and he did great for us. Obviously, good football mind, great worker, great family. Just I'm really close with Mike.
Urban, have people outside of the team reached out to you to offer support or anything? Other coaches, guys that you've coached
Yeah.
before?
Hundreds, yeah, they've been great.
Shelley, you talked about how your family's mad, angry. Is Shelley at all understanding that this is a mistake and you guys have obviously been together a long time, that it's fixable, that you can move on?
I believe so, and obviously it's very personal. I don't want to get into our personal life, but 37 years we've been together, and it's been awesome. And the speed bump's not going to get in the way of that.
Derrick Henry, obviously he's quite a beast. You guys, the run defense has improved from previous seasons, but what have you seen from him so far this year, especially knowing their top two wideouts may be out?
Yeah, I actually coached against him in one of those bowl games. He is a monster. He's one of the best combinations in size and speed. He starts, everybody says it. I remember I was with Trent, we were watching video, and we can't let him get started. That's much easier to say, and I think I'm sure Derrick would say that. I'm not really ready to interviews, but their offensive line is really good, and their scheme is really good. So this is a really good offensive team led by one of the best players in the NFL.
How difficult is it game planning, knowing potentially you may not have Julio, A.J. Brown out there for the Titans, maybe somebody else, maybe a different looking receiver?
Well, I was talking to Shaq about that, Shaq Griffin today about that, and that's you got to plan as if they're playing. It's like going up to bat and expecting a curveball, and they throw you a fastball. So you expect a fastball and react to the curveball.
You talked about the progress this team has made from week 1 to week 4. And it's evident, I think, for everybody. But what have you seen that you're most proud of that they're doing better?
It's one of the best locker rooms, if not the best locker room I've ever had. I mean, the halftime, the energy, the pulling for each other, the fact that, there's been some guys lose a bunch of games. And, I mean, the fight, man, you're talking about going in that environment last week. Our quarterback, just the poise and the growth he's had, Coach Schottenheimer and Bev, I think they've done a great job. The game's starting to slow down for him a little bit. We're combining the spread along with more traditional NFL, which is a lot of where his comfort is, which is exactly what I envisioned when back in months ago. So there's a lot of, the team's very close. The reality is we had 2 really bad injuries, too, of guys. A.J. Cam was playing very well, and DJ was just coming on, and so someone's got to pick up the flag and go. So, I told the team today, I love the team. This is a good group of dudes, man, that work hard, and I believe in them. And our staff believes in them. The work ethic and energy from week 1 to week with new systems, a bunch of new players that haven't played together, and a young quarterback. Now you look at week 4, that first half, I do that plan to win, which I haven't done much with you guys. I used to in college all the time. The plan to win was a perfect plan to win. Held a team to 18 yards rushing, 100 yards passing, 30 on the first play. Our quarterback was sensational. Guys are making plays all over the field. The tight end comes in on 3 days earlier and makes an impact in the game immediately. Our offensive line, I want to say all 5 graded winning effort, which was exceptional. Second half was, that's back-to-back now twice where second half we've come out and we're outscored and give up a drive. And we got some critical errors that we got to get fixed. Nothing to do with effort, nothing to do with a chemistry issue. Got to fix some errors we made against Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow got hot. So a lot of positives, but we just got to win the damn game and finish. And I believe in these guys.
How do you
Any
teach it?
defensive coordinator, like many defensive coordinators, Joe Cullen obviously harps first and foremost on stopping the run.
Yeah.
Is this game on Sunday sort of the ultimate mano type of game because of Derrick Henry and because of his physicality and all that?
Yeah, it's strength on strength. We're pretty good against the run, and I don't know where they're ranked in the league, but I would imagine they're tops in the league in run game with that big dog back there. So, this is, and that the area we have to get better at is the boots off of the run. We had a couple mental errors in the game against Cincinnati. You can't have that this week. The quarterback does a nice job of first of all, he can run it, and second of all, he finds the open players. the combination of the run game with the play action, they're really good.
You mentioned having to get the team to finish a game. This team looks like they've improved each week, and you're finally knocking on that door, and last week they just didn't close it out. Is that something that you can teach a young team? I mean, this is a team that hasn't won a game in a while. Do you have to learn how to win?
Absolutely. You look, I try to find the bright spots to talk to our team about, and you look, and the reality is that the Cardinals are one of the best teams in the NFL. They're undefeated. They're playing at a high level. There's at one point we had them, we should have been up 21-10, and playing hard for our home crowd, and then the second half, I'm looking at conditioning, but I don't believe it is. I'm looking at mental errors. That's what I'm seeing.
Do you think it's that guys just want to win so bad? I think Shaq mentioned that, everybody wants to win so bad that some guys are just freelancing a little bit, trying to make that big spark play rather than just doing their job.
I've had that comment to me because some of our better players are making a few mental errors, and it's certainly not that they're not capable. I think they're trying to put it on their shoulders to go make the play.
Where is Josh Lambo mentally?
Pretty good. He's pretty good. He's we're gonna him and Matt are gonna. There's gonna be a little competition to see who kicks, but Josh is in a much better place right now.
So if he doesn't win that competition, is he gone at that point, or?
I hope not. I like Josh Lambo. I like his commitment to being a great player. He's in a slump right now, but there's also the reality. You got to put it through the uprights. And we're all pulling for him. I can tell you this, the whole team's pulling for him. He's a great guy that works his you-know-what off.
What do you need to see from Laviska now with DJ out?
Laviska's been our best, most productive guy. He's turned it like he was a gadget player a year ago. He came out of college, was kind of that gadget player. Sanjay's done a really nice job. He's a legitimate route running wide receiver right now. I think he had 6 for 90-some yards last week. Ideally, I met with our staff too. To me, he's a 10 times. I would like to see that ball in his hand. And there's creative ways to do that. He's playing at a very high level. And he's been healthy in that whole sports performance model that's guys like him have thrived with it.
What have your conversations been with Trevor this week about things that happened on the field, things that happened off the field over this last week?
Yeah, he's been great. First of all, about the football component, his comfort level, he's really, his relationship with Schottenheimer, and the fact that Shotty and Bev have had experience developing a young player in the NFL, and then the personal situation. Trevor and I got a great relationship, and he was great. We talked it through.
Are you still obviously, 0-4 and then these distractions for a young man like that. He only turns 22 today. That can get to him eventually.
Yeah, he's a very unique. You guys probably know him a little bit. I know him very well. He's one of the most unique people I've ever met. And I heard that about him from his coach when we were discussing it. I studied him before we drafted him, and he is it's so refreshing to be around a guy like that. His focus and his resolve is tremendous.
Thank you.
Last thing I'd just like to say also to the 904 and Duval and our owner, why did I decide to come out of what I was doing and do this? Our owner, I just became, admire the guy so much. He's become a friend. He's a guy that like I said, I just admire. Jacksonville I know very well. I know our fans have been hanging in there with us, and I apologize to them. And want to make that perfectly clear. Thank you.
Sure.